Welcome to World Class, the series that brings you the finest of luxury hotels at some of the greatest destinations our planet has to offer. This time we visit one of the oldest cities in the world, London, the capital of England. This is a wonderful city to behold, with its vast green parks and gardens, overlooked by both ancient and modern architecture. Here you'll find great imposing structures that give a true reflection of the country's powerful status as a global financial giant, and of course, as a political world leader. But this is not just a city of work. It's a city to live and love life's enjoyments and pleasures. Greater London is divided up into 32 regions called London boroughs, and each borough is unique. London is truly cosmopolitan, from the West End to the East End, with Croydon in the south and Enfield in the north, all offering communities of different styles, race, and religion. Linking many of the boroughs and flowing through the heart of the city is the River Thames, offering power, water, and life. A trip on the Thames is unforgettable, passing all of London's major landmarks as it winds its way under many bridges, including the spectacular Tower Bridge, an iconic image that's known throughout the world. On every corner of every street, you will find places of interest. In fact, with so many tourist attractions, restaurants, bars, and clubs to choose from, it would take a lifetime to explore London fully. So a vacation here has to be carefully planned, according to your own interests. So where to start? Well, in the heart of London is Mayfair, and in the heart of Mayfair is Brown's Hotel, a hotel that's well placed to explore from, and is well placed in the great art of English tradition. This was the first ever hotel in London, and since opening its doors in 1837, it was the venue for genteel folk, and so became synonymous with the ceremony of serving afternoon tea.
English afternoon tea, Brown's has got to be the place to take it. Served on traditional Edwardian three-tier stands, pastries, sandwiches, scones, Dundee cake and a trolley with a Victoria sponge, all made in-house in a relaxed environment where Agatha Christie wrote, it was like visiting her own mother's sitting room to have English afternoon tea. Brown's is a very English hotel. When you come to Brown's, you're not staying in a cookie-cutter hotel in any other city in the world. You know you're in London. Well, Brown's is the oldest hotel in London. It was opened in 1837, and it was set up really as the first hotel for landed gentry to be able to visit London and stay in a public building as opposed to private homes. It was extended from a few townhouses now into a total of 11 townhouses that have been joined together to create what really is a very intimate hotel in perhaps one of the most fabulous locations in the centre of Mayfair, in one of the most famous cities in the world. The difference between us and most other hotels is that having been designed as a hotel, a bedroom will have one window. You will see in the rooms that you've walked around today that this room, for instance, has floor-to-ceiling windows and very elevated ceilings, lots of space, lots of opulence, whereas other purpose-built hotels have one window. So we have an abundance of natural light and people feel as though they are at home. Olga Polizzi, who is Sirocco Forte, our chairman and chief executive sister, this was the last hotel within the collection that she actually did the interior design herself personally. She is our design director and so therefore sees for the brand every interior design, but this is the one that she handled herself. And I think that is where the comfortability has come through, the style, the elegance, the timelessness. That our designs are here today and they will still be here tomorrow, as opposed to being bright colours that are overshadowed by time. Mrs. Polizzi has the most wonderful knack of enabling hotels to be able to exude the location to which they sit. There is a richness of English fabrics, Englishness, a lot of English artwork is on our walls.
The hotel has an amazing history. For instance, it was here that both Theodore and Franklin Roosevelt stayed on their honeymoons.
As a team, we're often bowled over by people who come and tell us that, oh, so-and-so used to come. For instance, Sir Alexander Graham Bell made the first telephone call from Brown's. And John Murray Publishing, which is just up the road in Albemarle, who published a number of publications for famous people, told us the other day that they used to all come to Brown's to use the telephone. We're sitting in the Dover Street suite, but next door is the Hellenic suite, and that was where the King of Greece was first exiled and stayed here for a period of time. Winston Churchill was a regular visitor. And Agatha Christie, her book Bertram's Hotel was based on Brown's and had very many visits here.
A wooden carved elephant provides a clue as to why this room is named the Kipling Suite, for it was here that Rudyard Kipling wrote his most famous novel, The Jungle Book. Children are most welcome in this hotel and can receive a personalized edition of the book, along with a large range of junior bath time goodies. The hotel has just undergone a £24 million renovation, and one does wonder if Rudyard Kipling would recognize the room that was so inspirational to him, although doubtless he would have been impressed by the luxury of the walk-in wardrobes and ultra-modern bathroom, complete with a newfangled flat-screen television built into the wall above the bath. Another great wordsmith who enjoyed this hotel was Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill. In every room you will find books on his work. But should you desire to discover more about this great man, you will find his legacy evident throughout London. Churchill served as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1940 to 1945, and again from 1951 to 1955. A noted statesman and orator, Churchill was also an officer in the British Army, an historian, a Nobel Prize-winning writer, and an artist. To learn more, visit the Churchill Museum and the Cabinet War Rooms, where you will find cutting-edge technology displays that bring the exciting story of Sir Winston Churchill to life. In the heart of the museum is a 15-meter-long interactive table on which visitors can access information from every year of Churchill's life, down to specific weeks and days. The Lifeline puts key events in Churchill's life in context and engages users through a variety of animations and sounds. However, it's the Cabinet War Rooms themselves that are more interesting. These rooms are eerily frozen in time. The rooms were closed on August 16, 1945, the day after VJ Day, and were left almost exactly as you can see today. To discover London by foot is by far the most rewarding, with fine eateries, pubs, and wine bars that are in such abundance, you will always find a table. It's certain that the hustle and bustle of London can take its toll, so make sure that you allow plenty of time to wind down and recuperate. One perfect option to relax those aching calf muscles is to book in for a massage, Brown style. Care to be coated in chocolate? Then this is the place for you. This is the Chocolate and Rose Seasonal Pedicure, a soothing massage using a warm chocolate sauce, a great way to enjoy chocolate without putting on any weight. Expecting moms will be thrilled to learn that they too will be looked after. Tanya McKay founded the Mio Spa brand, who specializes in pampering for moms-to-be.
Pregnancy is an incredibly stressful period, both psychologically and physically, and it's a great time for a girl to check into a spa. So we've created 7 different treatments which are entirely safe and entirely focused on alleviating the main physical and mental stresses of pregnancy. So depending on where she's at in her pregnancy or what her issues are, we have a treatment for her. One of my favorites is called the Yummy Tummy. And the Yummy Tummy is basically a facial for your tummy, because when you're pregnant, all this goes back to normal afterwards. It's actually your tummy you have to be focused on. So we've created this amazing facial for your tummy, which is about improving the elasticity of your skin, improving the tone and texture, and helping you with a 9-month stretch, and helping you to get your tummy back afterwards.
So yummy tummies on yummy mummies. But what are the benefits of chocolate as a topical ointment? Well, actually, chocolate is a good antioxidant, which is rich in calcium and zinc. When mixed with brown sugar, an invigorating exfoliation can be created. The treatment ends by soaking the feet in warm milk infused with rose oil, with a pressure point massage and a vanilla paraffin foot wrap, making your feet feel super soft and well prepared to venture out once more to explore the many delights of London. Before leaving, be sure to check out the Concierge Desk, who, with their extensive knowledge, can best advise where to go and what to see. In fact, you can often tell the quality of a hotel by the person who holds the golden key, or le clef d'or.
London is literally littered with historic attractions and interesting things to visit. But one thing that really sums it up for me is the Tower of London. I mean, it stands in the middle of London, and it's such an interesting place that holds so much history. You get a real feel for how London is and how London was.
In the early 1080s, William the Conqueror began to build a massive stone tower at the center of his London fortress. This was to be the heart of the Tower of London. Then, as the centuries went by, new monarchs left their mark by adding to the fortifications. But perhaps the most famous resident was King Henry VIII, who some 500 years later swelled the tower with religious and political prisoners following his split with Rome and the Catholic Church. With his new role as supreme head of the new Protestant Church of England, he truly gave the tower its bloody history, with the many political gruesome executions of bishops and, of course, 2 of his own wives. Today, the tower is still guarded by a detachment of the Yeomen of the Guard, who have formed the royal bodyguard since at least 1509. The Beefeaters, as they are nicknamed, have long been symbols of London and Britain. It is thought their nickname is derived from their position in the royal bodyguard, which permitted them to eat as much beef as they wanted from the king's table. Yeoman warders are required to have served in the armed forces with an honorable record for at least 22 years.
The changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace, yes. I mean, during the winter months it's every other day, but when you get towards the summer it starts, it's every single day. And it's each regiment in the British Army gets a chance to do the change of the guard at some point during the year. And it's a very prestigious occasion for the guards to actually come.
You can't really visit London without taking a trip to watch the age-old tradition known as the changing of the guard. The responsibility of guarding the sovereign by the household troops dates back to the reign of Henry VII, who ruled from 1485 to 1509. These men are not just ceremonial guards, but also serving soldiers. So while upholding the traditions of the past, they also perform duties throughout the world as professional soldiers and are known as some of the most elite and skilled soldiers in the British Army, who have fought in virtually every major area of conflict with great distinction. From the 17th century to the modern wars of today. The Household Division is made up of 7 elite regiments who include the Household Cavalry Regiment, the Life Guards and the Blues and Royals, and 5 regiments of Foot Guards, the Grenadier Guards, the Coldstream Guards, the Scots Guards, the Irish Guards, and the Welsh Guards. Most of the time, it is soldiers from one of these regiments that will be outside Buckingham Palace. After or before watching this magnificent display, why not plan your day around visiting Buckingham Palace, which is open to the general public in the summer months?
The London Eye is spectacular. I think it was one of the most amazing projects that was put into place for the millennium, and it is absolutely as popular as it was then as it is now. It's a great thing, and you get some fantastic views. You can see Windsor at one end of London and see out towards Queen Elizabeth Bridge the other, which is probably about 60, 70 miles apart.
At just under 450 feet high, this awesome construction is the largest Ferris wheel in Europe and undoubtedly offers the best views in town. Rotating at just half a mile an hour, it moves so slowly that it does not usually stop to board or disembark its passengers. In fact, each revolution of this enormous big wheel takes 30 minutes, so you have plenty of time to take pictures of London's most famous landmarks. This is a great place to familiarize yourself with the layout of this great city. Each capsule holds approximately 24 people, who are free to walk around inside the capsule. It was formally opened by the then British Prime Minister Tony Blair on the 31st of December in 1999 to celebrate the turn of the millennium, and had only been intended to be used for 5 years as a temporary attraction. But it became so popular that the local government voted for it to stay as a permanent attraction. By midsummer 2008, some 30 million people had ridden the London Eye, making it one of London's most popular tourist attractions.
One of my little mottos for Browns is once a guest of Browns, always a guest of Browns. And even though the guests might not be staying, we build up a relationship so they can come to us at any time, ask them to help out with something in London, and we'll gladly assist.
At dusk, a stroll along the Thames embankment becomes a truly romantic affair as the warm early evening light bounces off steel bridges, glass-laden skyscrapers, and ancient granite facades. The Thames itself changes color from chocolate brown to a rich dark blue with shimmering gold highlights. Here, twilight becomes an hour of magic and a time of calm. It's a time to simply pause, enjoy, and savor the last moments of daylight before London transforms into a city of the night. Back in the hotel, it's cocktail time in the Donovan Bar, where trendy contemporary furnishings with wooden floors, black leather seating, and dark country check banquettes provide the ideal setting to relax and indulge. Paying homage to the celebrated British photographer Terence Donovan, the bar walls are lined with over 50 of his iconic black and white prints. For a little fun, take a seat in the naughty corner, where you will find some of Terence's more risque photographs. In the kitchens, executive chef Lee Streeton creates a classic British dish for the hotel restaurant, the Albemarle, using only local ingredients.
I think now we're getting all the ingredients that's been around us for so long, but always never used them. Always gone to France or Spain or Italy. And I think everyone's woken up to the fact that we've got some of the best ingredients in the world in England. So Best of British is about using ingredients that's all around us. The menu is based upon British ingredients, which is sourced all over the British Isles, and the menu reflects the seasons. For instance, you wouldn't find asparagus in winter here, or you wouldn't find strawberries. So it's basically very, very seasonal, hence why we change the menu so often here. We change the menu about every week to 2 weeks. Not all the dishes, but we change dish here, dish there, dish here, dish there. The reason is for that is about seasonality.
The Albemarle was the first restaurant to open within a hotel in London. And thanks to Lee's passion and flair, and his commitment to fresh local ingredients, it continues to win awards, including 3 of the coveted AA rosettes. For the night owls among us, London is at its best after dark. With sophisticated restaurants, jazz bars, and nightclubs, this really is a city that never sleeps. As the darkness moves in, sadly, that's all we have time for. Because in this show, we have only skimmed the surface of what you can see in this great city. And London at Night tells a very different story. A story that would require a whole series of programs to portray fully. So until next time, we bid you farewell from the world-class team. Be sure to join us next time. Till then, goodbye.